Let there be light.
It's beautiful, Dahlia. We're praying here too. I think we'll begin in a few minutes, but we can continue if you want to sing. Do you want to say a word about this song while we're waiting for more people to arrive?
I was just wondering if you can properly hear like the guitar and the singing. Just the verses from Psalms. Let there be peace in your palaces, or let there be peace along your cohort. And calm in your palaces. In the Arabic, likun salam fi abrajiki, waraha fi qusuriki. In Hebrew, yehi shalom b'chaylech, shalva b'amenotayich. It's in the feminine form. It's wishing us to be all of us to be at peace in our palaces, to be in this condition of just peace and quiet. So definitely a prayer that I've been praying a lot this past year. Yehi shalom v'cheilech shalva ve'amenotayich Yikun salam fi abrajiki raha fi qusuriki Yehi shalom ve'cheilech shalva ve'amenotayich Yikun salam fi abrajiki raha fi qusuriki.
Thank you, Dahlia. Thank you for reminding us of the biggest aspiration, I think. The reason why we're here right now. So welcome Noel and Kathy and Stephen and Sai and Daria and Amichai and Imo. I'm Rabbi Tal. This is Neta. Hey, good evening, everyone. We're really grateful for you for arriving, for being curious and open to hear about the Woodstock, about this initiative, and also just for time for praying and putting a kavanah together for change. So today we'll also hear about Amichai and Dahlia and what each of them is up to in this past year and almost, I think it's a year and 3 months already in general, and also what you've been doing together. And also we'll hear about Amichai and Dahlia's connection to the Woodstock, and we'll tell you about the Woodstock. We're sure you're familiar with the original Woodstock. And maybe it's puzzling or surprising that now there's a Woodstock happening here, or maybe it makes the most sense. So we'll tell you all about it. Maybe I'll just start by saying that my mother was a cantor, a Reform cantor in the United States. I'm and yeah, I grew up close to prayer, and in congregations also in the States. And I think that for me, like the prayer for peace, this is like something that happens in every Jewish prayer, in Shacharit, in Mincha, and Arvit, every holiday. And it's like, I feel like it's the base of being Jewish. And this past year and 3 months, I think I've felt a lot of disappointment from Judaism or Jewish leadership for not stepping up and being like, right now, our ending the war and praying for peace is what Judaism is about. And I feel that like Amichai and Dahlia, and I've told them this also, that I've been looking for like rabbis to look up to, and I'm really like proud to collaborate, and that you're taking part in their initiative. So I will pass it over to you guys. I'm inviting you to tell us who you are, what you do, what you're doing in your life in general, and maybe specifically in this past year and 3 months, how you managed or what you acted.
Dahlia, ladies first, always.
I was
Still.
gonna say. Okay, so hi, it's you. I'd be happy, even those of you who are not with camera, if you could even write to us in a chat. Where are you from? Where are you joining us from now? It would be nice to know. My name is Dahlia. I'm born and raised in Haifa, and I live in Haifa today too. A Haifa denizen, I don't know, very much attached to the city and to this shared culture. I'm a rabbi. I was ordained in Hebrew Union College 5 years ago, and my work, other than being, like an independent rabbi and also working here in Haifa with the congregation Ol Chadash, I've been, as doing bar mitzvahs and funerals and weddings and whatnot. I feel that most of my rabbinic work, especially this past year and a half, has been with music and with bringing Hebrew and Arabic together. And music has helped me help people mourn. In many cases, just allowing people to connect to their hearts, and to pray. I work with most of the people who I've come across consider themselves secular, the same way that I was brought up. But there's something just humane, just basically a basic human need to pray, to connect with the heart and the feeling. And it's been very difficult this past year and a half because the feelings have been so just engrossed with pain. And I've been feeling that allowing people to just immerse themselves in music has helped heal. And especially when this music is brought with Hebrew and Arabic together in just very, very gently. Because people have been so afraid to connect. There has been such a disconnect between the cultures, and being in cooperation with Arab musicians, and singing, bringing my Arabic. Arabic is the mother tongue of my mother, and I've learned Arabic here in Israel and worked as an Arabic translator for quite a few years. And to allow people to just be in a space where Arabic and Hebrew just live together has been helping, I feel, to remind people that peace is not just a dream, but an actual reality, that there are not very few, but quite a lot of spaces, especially here in this land, in the city, and in many other spaces in the country where people just share their lives and share a living space and share a language, and share also their wish, their prayer for peace, of violence, and for a better future. This is mostly what I've been doing.
So I'll pick up with great gratitude after my friend and teacher Dahlia. And I want to say, first of all, toda to Revital and Neta and all the amazing people who have crafted this Woodstock Peace Festival out of thin air, literally, and are bringing together all of us tonight, thousands this coming weekend, as literally a ray of light in the darkness. It's as simple as that. Tonight is the night after the longest night of the year. Last night was the solstice, which is really one of the oldest holy days, holy nights on the human calendar. Maybe we'll get to it tonight. We're definitely going to talk about it when we all gather in the Woodstock Festival this weekend. One of the programs we're doing is the Midnight Fix on midnight on Thursday night, which is going to be about the secrets of the hidden light and why these nights, the longest nights of the year, originally for humans before electricity, were the scariest night of the year because you didn't know if you're going to make it through a long night without heat in the old days, thousands and tens of thousands of years ago. So the longest night of the year became a way for our ancestors to mark time, sacred time, to know that every year, after the longest night of the year and the shortest day of the year, the days are getting longer and the sun is back and the light is back and the warmth will be back and the seasons are in order even when the world is in war. And that nature, despite culture, perseveres, which, as we know right now, is also at stake. But still, it's the longest night of the year. So when we planned this event tonight and we realized that it's coming at this season, it felt very auspicious. We're really here in the business of bringing light into the darkness, dancing with darkness and light. They need each other like we need each other. And it's never either or. It's always both and. So with that, I want to say that I know some of you, not many of you. I'm my full time as a rabbi in New York City, with the lab shul community that I founded is thriving, even when I'm not there, which is every parent's dream, and a bit of a nightmare, but mostly a dream. Um, and I've been back and forth this entire year between New York and Israel. This is, I think, my 15th trip since mid-October. I'm here at my mother's home with my mother, and I really came here all these many, many trips to be with my mother, with my siblings, with my nephews and nieces, with many friends who have spent and are still spending way too many days and nights in uniform out there fighting, but also with so many peacemakers and Palestinian friends in East Jerusalem, in the West Bank, via communication with some people in Gaza, to not lose sight of solidarity. Just this past Friday, I was in the Dead Sea at the Sulha Peace Project gathering, where over 100 Palestinians and Israelis gathered to pray, to sing, to meditate, to hear each other, to talk with each other, to refuse to be enemies, to just see the human face in each other's face. And that's one of the projects I've been involved with this past year, again and again and again. This past Yom Kippur, as my community gathered in New York and online, we were very privileged that Dahlia joined us in New York and helped us lead prayers and music and teachings in Hebrew and Arabic and English. And the theme for us is face to face. We have to be face to face with each other. We have to face what's going on. We can't look away from each other's face. That is the human responsibility. We have to face what we're doing, what we've endured, the trauma that we're in the middle of, the intergenerational trauma we're holding, and we have to start paving the path to a better future that is not the reality right now. Every day here, I've been in Israel for a week, is a total dissonance between business as usual and everyone wanting to live and get ready for Hanukkah, and there's like obscene amounts of jelly donuts in every shop window, and there's such heartbreak. There's so many hurting people. And so those of you who are here, we are part of the healing. And for whatever reason you're here today, and I know some of you, and excited to meet more of you, what we're here to do tonight is really throw a spotlight on this project, the Woodstock Peace Festival, that needs more support, that needs more financial love, that needs more awareness. More people need to know that this is happening, that Israel is not just engaged in warfare, that there are many people engaged in peace building now more than ever. That needs to be spotlighted and highlighted. And together with Israeli, Palestinian, foreign activists, artists, thinkers, and people, this is one of the projects that is doing that. So that's why I was like, I'm in it. I'll be there the whole weekend. We'll do stuff at midnight. I don't know what we're doing. The program is insane. I looked at it today. There's programming every single moment from Thursday till Saturday night. People are coming from all over. People are still signing up. You can still sign up. Children, elders. I'm driving 2 Palestinian young men with me who just signed up on Friday, and they're in their 20s. And they want to meet Israelis. They want to sit and listen. They want to believe that there is another day around the corner. So I think that's really our only hope. I want to say one more thing, kind of lofty, before we hand it over to Dahlia or to Vital, to Neta, Limor. We're improvising this on the second longest night of the year. We want to talk a little bit about the meaning of the season and what we'll be doing at Woodstock. But I just want to say my mother's off camera, which is here with me. And just before this started, we were just sitting and having dinner, and we put on the radio, and Kola Musica, the classical music station, and there was Handel's Messiah. And we love Handel's Messiah. We're a good Jewish family, and we love Handel's Messiah. My mother is English, and it's like, Handel is a big deal. And this time of year, one goes to concerts of Handel's Messiah. We know the words by heart, and we love the music. And I remember as a kid going to Handel's Messiah and like, why are they singing about Jerusalem? I don't get it. Until I realized that what they're really singing about is Ishayahu. It's Handel's Messiah is about perhaps Jesus, but it's really about the notion of the messianic hope for a better world. And I'll talk about later about messianicism, and I think we need to reclaim the messianic not have the extremist fundamentalists own Messianic. That's who the hell gave them the right to own Messianic. Um, as I heard the Messiah being beautifully performed just now, I actually opened my phone to look at the words from Yeshayahu, from Isaiah in Hebrew. I don't remember the whole pastiche of Handel's Messiah. I'm gonna, by Christmas, I'm gonna listen to it again. But the words from Yeshayahu that they sing, Kumi ori kiva orech, ukvod Adonai alayich zarach. Come, rise, your light has come. The light has come, and the glory of the divine is rising and shining upon you. It's a beautiful chapter. It's chapter 60 of Isaiah. He's writing it in Jerusalem at a time of war, at a time of deep concerns that Jerusalem won't make it, that the messianic supremacist warmongers will overtake. And Isaiah insists on the light. He insists on hope. He insists on saying, look around. They're all going to come back. And the light will shine, the light will rise again and again and again. So I'm taking that into our work here tonight, into this night, into the nights ahead, into Christmas, into Hanukkah, into New Year, into what humanity knows, that in the depths of darkness, it's only these prophetic poetries of light that will help us make it through. And we're so fortunate to have this legacy of prophetic music, the music that Dahlia has talked about. That's what's helped me along this past year. Poetry, prophecy, knowing that we're part of a very long arc of history. And while we're now in the contractions expand, spirals contract and expand. And Kvod Adonai alayich zarach. Light is on its way. I'll pause here.
Amen.
Amen.
From your mouth to God's ears. Allah's ears. Wow. Really love feel like I'm being touched in the heart, but also in the crown and I remember that like the first few months after October 7th, I was going to the hostage tents. What is it called? Kikar Chatufim, the squares, the square where the hostage families were sitting, and we were doing mincha from the Masorti movement. Sometimes we were doing, no, every day they were doing mincha, and sometimes I felt like the only thing we can do is open this vessel. And I feel like now we're in a different place. Like we can open this vessel, but we can also act. But thank you for reminding me that it starts like with prayer. I just want to shout out to Marsha and Jessica, my family members from Savannah and from Arizona, for being here. I'm very happy you're here. So maybe we'll take a moment to tell about the Woodstock, like how it began. Thank you so much, Amichai and Dahlia, for your words and for connecting us to prayer, and also for showing how important it is what we're doing now together, and we're all part of this. So Nancy, do you want to say some words about the Woodstock?
Sure. Hi, everyone. So Rabbi and I we're two out of the group who came up with Woodstock and built it together. We started as a group of 6 women. Some of us we knew each other before, and some of us who didn't. Some of us are more activists in the peace activism, and some others came from production and festivals world. And the feeling that we had at this moment when it started, just on the summer, about 4 or 5 months ago, we met on the beach, and we we felt like a deep lack of connection within our communities of good people in Israel, Palestine, people who has lots of peace and love in their hearts, people who used to go to be part of communities, or they're going to festivals, musicians, spiritual people. But it felt very disconnected from the fact that terrible things are happening in this land at the moment, and most of the people, they don't act to stop or to change or to bring a voice that is different than the militant voice that we hear in the streets of Israel. And we felt a deep need to connect and to awake and to inspire in a way these people, which is our communities actually, of lots of young people and colorful people and beautiful people who don't dare or don't think, or maybe they don't even dare to dream that they can do something or they can be involved. And at the same time, all of the peace organizations are in big despair and fear as well, because it's very hard to act these days, and it feels like the peace people, they come smaller and smaller and more scared as the time go by, and me included as a peace activist for several years. And we imagined something big and beautiful. We imagined music, we imagined art, we imagined spirituality and prayers and workshops and anything that can inspire people and bring back the feeling of we can do something, we can believe in peace, we can dream peace, we can talk peace, and we find our partners to act together. So for us, the Woodstock is not for enjoyment, it's not an escapism, it's not a music festival just for it is. It's a generator to move all the new movements of all the new people for peace activism, and to bring back the availability to believe and to feel in our bodies, in our hearts, not just to think about it, but to feel that it's here, that it's possible, that we have each other, because we're gonna have 2,000 people in the desert this weekend. We're already here in the desert. We're talking from the office of the area where the event's gonna be. We arrived here today. We're gonna be 2,000 people here that will look on the left and on the right, and we feel, oh wow, there are more people like me who are really willing and really hoping for something different and better in this land. And for us, the people in Israel, it's not taken for granted, because we all feel very alone in this, very alone and very much scared. And during this whole war, I was sitting at home and feeling like everyone just lost their mind, and that nobody speaks peace anymore. Like even this word, it became really harsh. When people say peace, other people think they're either crazy or naive or even dangerous, because peace sounds like I agree with killing, or that I don't love my country, or that I don't like my people. If I say peace, maybe I'm a traitor. And this is what we want to change. And this is how Woodstock started. And this dream that we had of 6 women only 5 months ago, in a very short time, it became a big movement without any organization behind us, without like any organized strategy, but with lots of passion. And we have a very clear vision of what we want to do. And we just started to share it with people in meetings, in different houses, in different places in the country, and with Zoom calls. And we just invited people, come in and hear about this idea. And in 2-3 months, we created like a huge net of volunteers who do it with full-hearted and work on Woodstock from morning till evening. Some people put their jobs on the side. And the amazing thing is that most of them, they are friends of us, or not friends of us, but people who were not peace activists before them. And what was new for them is that they found a new language that connected them to this kind of activism. Our language is about connection, is about spirituality, it's about art, it's about being together, it's about let's believe again. It's not just blaming and shaming and protesting, which is happening in the street, and it has its own importance. But we invite people to do something else. We say, if you have a small part in your heart that is willing for peace, your place is with us. Let's find it together. And so many people, mostly young people, for the first time in their life, they connect to this idea and they want to become peace activists in their way. And for them, the activism is to volunteer for Woodstock and to help this event happen and to produce 3 days of event for 2,000 people. That it's so much work. It's so much work, especially when you don't have any funding or any organization or any experience behind you. And we just started to flow with it. We're just like, let's do it. And if someone knows something about Facebook, they become the social media leader. And if someone ever did like some Excel sheets, so now we're like, okay, now you're in charge of the budget. And if someone is loving art, so amazing, you're going to decorate the whole event. And if you know English, so okay, please talk with communities abroad. Okay, like this is how it started. But we actually, so many amazing people did amazing work, and we came to this point. Now we are 4 days to open the gates. It's going to happen this Thursday. And we already hear a group of 20, 30 people. We're working on the art. We're doing the first arrangements, and we're going to have more people tomorrow and the day after until we open the gates for 2,000 people on Thursday. And from Thursday to Saturday, we're going to have 3 days of full content and 2 main stages with more than 50 artists and more than 70 workshop leaders who come from peace activism or spirituality or art or body work or inner work, all kind of Dahlia Amichai, for example, and all kind of peace practices that we can imagine. And the idea is that each person, each participant that comes, find their own thing, find their own way to get inspiration and tools and knowledge and connections to become the peace activists that they want to be in their way. And we feel and we know, and it's happening, that it's much more than these 3 days, because the fact that so far we did so many things during these 5 months together, and we have more than 200 volunteers with us, producing it with us, fully voluntarily. And we're planning to do more events afterwards. And we already did 30 events around the country in the past 2 months to spread the rumor about Woodstock. So we arrived to Haifa and Tel Aviv and to the north and to the south and Jerusalem and to Mitzpe Ramon in the desert. And we did small events of 20, 30, 50, 100 people of art and peace and talks and conversations and music. And people started talking about it and imagining it. So we're doing small Woodstock all over. So it's a movement, and it's gonna keep going. And after these 3 days, we're gonna keep going, and we just wanna go full on it. And we put our life on the side because we feel it's really big. And yeah, we really put our life on the side. Like, seriously, I haven't saw my family for a long time. And I guess they're gonna fire me from my job because I'm not doing much there in the moment, because we're so passionate about this and we believe in it. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like we have an opportunity to impact many people in this country, and we can get out of our caves and be brave and say peace out loud and say, yeah, we want things to be different, and we're here together and we're not afraid anymore. And this is what Woodstock is about. Love hearing Netta speak.
Thank you so much for doing it. Thank you for enabling so many people to give, because they feel that what has been, the greatest loss, I don't know if the greatest, but some of the things that have been the most difficult this past year and 2 months is this sense of impotence. The sense of just like unable to think of what to do next, the sense of helplessness. I remember in the first couple of months after October 7th, I don't know, maybe a year, in Hebrew, when you ask someone how you're doing, how are you, you ask ma shlomcha. Ma shalom shelcha. Literally, it means how is your peace? That's the question. How is your peace? And in the same way that people are like unable to articulate and are afraid to say the word peace, people have been like, answering with very long disclaimers, like "Ma shlomcha?" Like, how is your peace? I'm fine, but I'm not, and I found it at some point, instead of asking people, how are you? Instead of like, how is your peace? It's like, where is your peace? Where do you feel a sense of peace today? Ma shalem b'cha? What is whole in your life at this moment? And I found, for myself, that helped, because even with all the destruction, with all the despair, there was still always this like spots of light of, okay, this part is whole and this part feels peaceful. And now with this initiative, with Woodstock and with this, dreaming big and bringing innocence to the forefront, just saying, hey, we're naive. Will you join us? And allowing people to be childlike and allowing people to say, yeah, I believe, let's try, let's give, let's join in. And as someone participating, in this project, we're doing, and maybe we'll talk a bit more about why the interfaith, why bring religion in, especially in this sense. But we're doing like an interfaith prayer. I'm also performing with my ensemble, and the sense of like I'm bringing, and so many people are bringing their spirit, they're bringing their work, they're bringing in their money, in the sense of, it was so strong when you told me, we were talking about this, Rabbi Dahlia, and you told me all of the people organizing it bought tickets. And it was very, very strong, this understanding that peace is about partnership. Peace exists where there is this sense of we're all in this together, and wherever we make of it is going to be that, and there's so much confusion, and there's so much to arrange, and there's so much logistics around it, and there's so much, but I know that when we will be there on Thursday, I still don't know where I'm going to be sleeping. I'm bringing a tent just in case. But what I know is that, there's going to be spirit. There's going to be, people saying eye to eye, people, just echoing each other's hope and each other's, innocence and each other's sense of peace. So that, we'll be coming out of the desert, back into the land, like coming out of this stronger. Because all the people who are there, you're saying they're not necessarily activists, but I know a lot of people who are just, they're believers. And in this past year, so many people have found different ways to help each other and different ways to connect. And I've spoken more Arabic this past year than I did all my life. And I've met more of my neighbors than I did, in the past 7 years, just this year. Because there is this sense that there's no other time. We really don't have another time. We can't just wait for something to be over before we can start building. It's now. It's just now. Yeah. So thank you for this. And yeah.
Dahlia, I want to invite you in a moment maybe to sing. I know there are several light songs that we talked about the power of light as some of the folk. I would imagine most of you on here are mostly in the United States. I know there's a few folks in Israel. And we're so glad that you saw the call and joined us here. This is just a taste of what the Woodstock weekend will be like. I do want to say that there will be one part of it that will be live on Zoom for all of you to join. I'll talk about that in a moment. It's going to be a candle lighting on Thursday night. Well, early in the morning, like in the wee hours of the morning Israel time, but 7 p.m. New York time. that I'll be leading. But other than that, we were hoping that this is an opportunity for folks to, as Vital and Neta said earlier, to remember that we're not alone. That I know as a rabbi in the States that the sense of despair, the sense of loneliness, whether you're in the United States or in Dublin or in Tel Aviv or in Ramallah, that if you're a person who believes that peace is possible, that we have to make concessions, that a price has to be paid, that a deal is necessary, that we can't abide by another night that the hostages are not home, that we cannot abide by the fact that Gaza is an absolute ghost town, and yet there are close to 2 million people living there without basic humanitarian abilities to survive, let alone see tomorrow, and that there are heartaches beyond heartaches. And so being with other people is the way to be less alone and to build a bigger network. I was just 2 weeks ago in New York. We hosted a group that many of you know, Standing Together, Omdim Beyachad, Palestinians and Israelis who also insist on building a civic society, which is a shared society, completely equal, and figuring out the citizenry of Israel that will be truly democratic. And it's an incredible movement that really grew as a grassroots movement. And we had a salon in New York for fundraising and for friend raising. And one of them said, Rula, who's one of the leaders of the movement, who's so amazing. She said, look around, right? Who's in the living room? People you know, people you don't know. But by looking left and right, you remember that there's other people here who believe what you believe. And we're not the majority right now. I actually think that's not totally true. I think we are the majority, but I think the media and the fear-based propaganda, whether it's the Israeli government, or whether it's the new American government, whether it's what social media wants, which is conflict, not good stories, we are driven towards this dialectic of either or, which is not how we operate. We are both and people, and we are both hands people, and we need to look left and right and remember that there's more of us who are willing to put our life on the line for this future, because otherwise it's just this past year on repeat again and again. We can't afford that. Humanity can't afford that. So looking left and right, I'm also very looking forward to this weekend. Um, we're going to be in layers because we're in the desert and it's really cold. Tell us how it's there already now, Vital. But I think the programs there are going to be whatever's happening on the stages and in the tents, but it's the encounters, it's the face-to-face encounters that I know I'm very much looking forward to. I want to say a word about interfaith also that Dahlia mentioned. I feel very strongly that one of the biggest failures of the peace movement and the political negotiations between Israelis and Arab leaders in the last 40 plus years. My father of blessed memory was very much involved in Camp David and in some of the other initiatives of peace treaties with Egypt, with Jordan, the beginning of Oslo. The failure was and is that religious leaders are non-existent or marginal. And this is not just a political conflict. This is a ethno-religious conflict. We are the children of Abraham, for better and for worse. For Islam, for Judaism, for Christianity, the Bible is the textbook and the roadmap for how we have been at war. And it is the roadmap and the North Star of how we will achieve peace. There's no other way. And it has to come from faith. And it has to come from reimagining our religions and talking back to the toxicity and the trauma of our religions. We inherited traumatized religions. I won't speak for my sisters and brothers in Islam or in Christianity. I can speak for the religion I inherited. and the rabbinic title that I chose to take on in the lineage of my family, and saying we inherited so many treasures and we inherited many toxic truths that need to be revised. There's a woman rabbi in the Zoom room with me, and 50 years ago, a woman rabbi was not a thing anybody could imagine. I'm an openly gay rabbi. That too was not a reality. And in the Bible, I'm an abomination, and a woman is a second-class citizen. Those are truths that no longer serve us. They must be revoked and reimagined. And the fear of the other, whether it is someone who loves not like you, looks not like you, believes not like you, the deep hostility and fear of the other, which is also part of our biblical heritage, is only there as one part of the story. There are so many other big truths that say, love everybody as you love yourself. So I think faith leadership and faith environments and reimagining our faith and our connection to the sacred and to the divine is critical for the next stage of peacemaking. And coming back and forth to Israel as I have this past year, I'm noticing how so many Israelis who grew up secular or grew up religious and rejected Orthodox rigidity are actually clamoring and yearning for spiritual presence, yearning for prayer, yearning to reclaim a Judaism that walks the talk of justice and morality and dignity, and not, again, not being hijacked by the extreme fundamentalists who are misogynists and homophobes and xenophobes and are fueled by fear and hatred. And as I grew up in a religious Zionist, in the religious Zionist home I grew up with, and I can speak on behalf of my family members who are saying the way religious Zionism is now portrayed in the world, that's not what we grew up with. That is not our values of Torah and Derech Eretz, of Torah and wisdom, and walk the talk of humanity. So we have such a reclamation project ahead of us. It's the rest of our lifetime. And it has to be about us seeing each other face to face as divine humans, despite and because of our differences. So it's such an honor when we, started talking with the amazing women who co-created and are co-creating Woodstock, that the invitation was so open-hearted to bring Judaism, to bring interfaith. We're going to light Hanukkah, second night of Hanukkah, and we're going to do it in an interfaith context with Christian and Muslims who are celebrating Christmas and the longest night of the year. There's no Muslim holiday right now, but we're in the place of raising the spirit of the Holy Land together. And we're going to do Shabbat together, and there's going to be Orthodox people and secular people and whatever we are. And we're going to figure it out, how it works together, so everyone feels honored. And I'm really curious how this can be a spark that lights a greater flame, the bigger candle that I know all those of you joining us here want to be part of, and already part of by being here. And whether you just here tonight and share the news that this is happening, and whether you can be financially generous. I've been sending people in my community an invitation to buy a ticket to Woodstock, even if you can't attend, and let the organizers say that you're buying this ticket for somebody else to join, especially young people, especially peace activists, Palestinians who for sure can't afford this but want to be there. So that is a great way to support this initiative. And who knows what's going to happen next week after we're done. I don't think these ladies are done. So we're just getting started.
Yes, it is the very beginning. And I'll say that the movement is even, like, we have seminars and we have events planned for afterwards. So this is kind of, it's only in the beginning. And I want to just add to what you said, Amichai, that this year has been really hard. Also, year and 3 months has been hard, also financially for all of us. You can imagine for reservists, for their families, for Palestinians, of course, for activists, as you said. And we have another 380 tickets that need to be sold. However, now they cost $150 for each ticket. And for many people, this is too much. And they want to come. So honest, we're just like putting it out there honestly that we want it to be full. We want 2,400 people to come and to share this experience and to be inspired and to be able to get up and do something after this because they believe, because now they can look left and right and say, I'm not alone. I have partners. And we know some of you can't be there. We hope that those of you who can be there, you're more than welcome. We would love to see you. And even if you're not there, we invite you to also to come to the Hanukkah lighting that Amichai will be doing. We'll write that in the email as well. And also we invite you to join as partners and help someone else come, because that is also a beautiful way of being our partners. And hopefully the next event you'll be able to come. You want to add something?
Yeah, we took a big risk with producing this event. When we started planning it, we realized it's going to cost 1 million shekel to produce, and we don't have any financial support, but we said, let's do it. We're going to sell tickets. We're going to do crowd fundraising. With the crowd raising, we raised more than 500,000 shekels in 40 days, which was amazing. And so many people in this land believed in it and supported it. And afterwards, we continued selling normal tickets. But because their price got higher and higher, because we have to cover expenses, as Levi said, many people cannot afford it. So now we're at the point that people who want to come cannot come because it's too expensive. And for us, we haven't covered expenses. We're very far from it, and we're going to pay it from our own pockets in the moment, and it's so much money. So honestly, any kind of support will help us to cover the expenses and to be able to invite people who cannot afford to be part, even if they don't have so much money. And I wish this event could be for free or very cheap. This is what we imagined in the first place. We said it cannot cost more than $50 maximum. No way. Peace should be not
free.
Yeah, peace should be free.
Peace is free, but
Peace is free. Peace is free. Yeah.
War is really expensive.
Yeah. So yeah, organizing a legal event in Israel, it costs so much because of police and security, logistics, insurance, and so on. And yeah, lots of the money goes to the country, actually. Anyway, if you would like to support and to finance a ticket for someone or a few tickets, it's $150 for a ticket, as Rabbi said. And yeah, it will be so meaningful for us, really.
Yeah. Thank you for waging hope that way. I see there are some maybe questions.
Yeah, maybe we'll take some questions. I will. I'd love us to end with a prayer, but yes, no. Did I say your name right? I know.
My name is Noor. So I wanted to ask, I'm looking at first of all, thank you for the organizing and the work, and Rabbi Dahlia and Rabbi Amichai. Hi. I just wanted to ask, when I'm looking at the website, it doesn't, I don't see the option of donating toward a ticket. Do you have any option like that? And you said that it's possible to let you know that we're buying it for people who can't come, but I don't see it on the website. So, or I don't see it in the place. Yeah. So I live in
right.
I'm not going to be
Yeah,
there.
okay. That's a really good point. So, Limo, do you know if people can write a request when they donate? Do they have a text to add?
Yes, as part of the donation, you can add a request and we will do this assignment.
I don't
There is
see
my email in the donation page, and any additional requests regarding the donation can be sent to me.
Yes.
And also, I think in the give back, although it's not tax deductible, there's no more of the sulcha because there's a specific group. There's a specific group coming from East Jerusalem that are still looking for people to support them coming. It's Palestinians from East Jerusalem that would really love, and they're actually going to do listening circles on Shabbat. So it's also an option. And I think, as Limal said, you can send a specific request, and
Yeah,
we've been able.
if the donation is done using the links that I shared for donations, then it is tax deductible in some countries as listed, like in the US and some countries in Europe.
Yeah, the links are in the chat.
Okay.
And I think there's an interesting question here from Ola
Right.
about how we are informing Palestinian neighbors about this event. And I think part of it, as we said, there are already, you know, and Amichai was telling about the sulcha, and there's so many. Part of what this event is doing is exposing how many networks of cooperation actually do exist, and how many, you know, people are already involved in cooperation circles. So this has been passing like word to mouth and word to ear, word to mouth. I don't know how to, what the expression is, but there are quite a lot of you know, Palestinians from within Israel and from the West Bank who have heard about it through their Israeli friends, and are looking to come. Yeah, I already know of a few who will be joining us, so that is
Yeah.
moving. Yeah.
There will be Palestinians, citizens of Israel that will be joining. We translating everything to Arabic, and we're putting lots of effort in it, and we have some Palestinian partners as well for this step. And I must say very sadly that people from the West Bank and of course from Gaza cannot join at the moment because of the legal limitations of not having permits to get into Israel. But we made a few appointments in the West Bank with our partners, with activists that we're friends with for a long time in Bejala, to see how we can collaborate for after the Woodstock. What can we do in the West Bank to meet them and to connect people? So it's part of our long run process as well.
Yeah.
How easy physically will it be for Palestinians to join you? So as I said, Palestinians from the West Bank and Gaza unfortunately cannot get permits at the moment at all.
And maybe I'm just going to say about that we started this initiative. We're 6 women. We're 6 Jewish Israeli women. And we started this initiative really with the feeling of we have to do our work. We want to do our work, and we want to take responsibility for our communities, because we felt that our communities aren't stepping up and aren't doing what their human responsibility of calling for peace and calling for this never-ending bloodshed cycle to end. So we're aware that probably there's going to be more Israelis, and every Palestinian that we've talked to, even those who can't come, have said to us that they fully support this and they fully believe in what we're doing, and they're really grateful for this stepping up and for this. This is a big, like, this is seen as a big step in this country, on this land. And like, I just want to put that out there, because this is like a beginning. This is the first step. This is for calling our communities and calling whichever human wants to be a part of this, that can come. And this is the beginning.
Amen.
Thank you, Ola. Those are really good
Rivi,
questions, Ola. Thank you. I appreciate that.
hi, Rivi, can I say something?
Yes, Marsha. Yes.
I'd like to buy 2 tickets, but when anything comes up on my screen, it's gone in like 5 seconds. I can't write anything down that fast. So either put something up and leave it up there so I can write down how I can donate and buy 2 tickets for someone who wants to go. And other people may want that too. And also maybe I can copy it and send it to some people who may be sympathetic also, who couldn't be on the call today.
That would be amazing.
Imagine everybody who's here on the Zoom has registered, so you have their emails, and then maybe, you know, you'll be following up with, right? Yeah, you're
That
nodding.
would be good. Okay, yeah,
There's going to be an
because I
email
can't
sent
write
with all the links to
right.
anyone who's here. And we're almost, I think we've just passed the universal 1 hour length of the Zoom and people's ability to stay tuned. We didn't want to add to. We began with the prayer and maybe finish with the prayer, so that's okay. We'll do that, and I'll just This is a song written by Naomi Shemer. So going along with the feminine leadership of this endeavor, of this project. And Rabbi Amichai translated it last year. Remember us spending all of Hanukkah just like recalling this song. So I'll sing it in just the first verse and the chorus in Hebrew and English. Who will light an ancient candle? Who will sing the song? Who will find inside their hearts new light, bright and strong? In the torch of yesterday, the flame will still burn. Sometimes a great miracle again return. ההולכים בחושך, אור גדול ליבו, הכמהים לחופש, בית ימצאו, אפלה מולכת על הפנסים, העומדים מלכת מחפשים ניסים. מי ידליק נר עתיק, מי ישמיע שיר, מי ימצא בליבו אור חדש בהיר, בפי שעצמו עוד תבעט לפעמים נס גדול שב ומתרחש. You walk through darkness, a great light will astound. You yearn for freedom, a home for you will be found. Now, street lights down, wheels are standing still. See a spark. Who will light an ancient candle? Who will sing the song? Who will find inside their hearts new light, bright and strong? In the torch of yesterday, the flame will still burn. Sometimes a great miracle again return. So here we are going to light this new and ancient candle to return the flame of shalom. I was thinking, Amichai, when you were speaking, how it seems like there is some unity among the Abrahamic religions these days, among their fundamentals. The fundamental groups seem to be having the same vision, whether it is fundamental Jews or fundamental Muslims or fundamental Christians. They all have this shared vision of this entire land burning up, becoming ashes, in order for God to then say who was right. And they all share this idea that they are the ones who are right, whether they're Jews or Muslim or Christians. And I feel, these are minority groups that somehow are sharing a vision. And I know that underneath this, flame of, I don't know, fundamentalism, flame of this like waging war religiously. Underneath that, there's a majority who just want peace and who are also sharing the same vision of being able to get up in the morning and get through the day and go to bed at night and wake up the next morning, not having to fear what's in the news, not having to fear what's going to happen to our children, not having to fear what's going to happen to our homes. And this is the majority who just wants peace. And the one thing that all these religions also share in common is that eventually when we pray, when we light the ancient candle, it's a candle of peace. All of us praying for peace, salam, shalom. And I'm really looking forward to having an opportunity to just holding that light and holding that vision and hugging and singing. And believing. So thank you so much for organizing this. Thank you for having faith. Thank you for your leadership, Vital and Neta and Limor and all your partners and Rabbi Amichai, and thank you all of the people who are here. And we will meet again. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Limor, for being amazing and connecting with all the communities abroad. And being such a big part of the Woodstock.
And Amichai and Dahlia for being a rabbi. For being a Woodstock rabbis. Too bad there wasn't rabbis in the real Woodstock back then.
I'm sure there were. I'm sure.
I'm sure there were quite a few. Heavy on
There's going to be a Torah reading in this Woodstock.
Thank you, Amichai and Dahlia, and thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Laila tov.